it's a number of years old, it's an HDTV, it's not
If
Really?
I have some
a,
baked goods,
took the back of
And I
the
put it in
TV
the
off, the
freezer,
circuit board was
and I
black
sell
and
it.
burnt.
Someone.
And, so I just
Baked
called
goods,
them
I
up,
can't.
said,
Baked goods.
Samsung,
Not
they
basic.
and,
sweat it over.
he didn't
Yes.
get back to me.
Anyway,
Famous phones.
is
too.
that, do I have to get rid of it? I mean,
It's the same question that you asked me.
equals.
It's the same question.
I,
Another,
I didn't realize
There
I
are-
had it in my freezer.
there are two minhagim
Yeah.
when it comes to selling chametz on Pesach.
Mhm.
There is the minhag of those individuals who say a sale is a sale. If it's good for something, it's good for everything. And if it's not good for everything, it's not good for anything.
Okay.
And therefore, they sell chametz gamur, even on Pesach. So they have baked goods in their freezer, they have pasta in their cabinets, they have cereal in their cabinets, they have bread, they'll sell it all.
Mm.
On the principle that it's a sale. The sale is a valid sale. If the sale's a valid sale, the sale's a valid sale. Then there are those who say the sale was only instituted by Chazal initially to deal with the question of liquor. Because liquor was very expensive. It was not easily available or as easily available. And liquor is known as not chametz gamur. It's a derivative of chametz.
It's grain based.
It's grain based. It's not actual grain. You're not drinking actual grain. It's grain based. It's a derivative. That's called eino chametz gamur. So these people say the sale, by its definition, was intended for things which are not chametz gamur, but things which are chametz gamur, you shouldn't be selling. So these are two different interpretations of what of the sale, of how the sale of chametz works.
It's a Sephardi, Ashkenazi.
No, it's not a Sephardi Ashkenazi thing. It is simply, so for instance, Rav Soloveitchik, who was the Rav for many Ashkenazim, Rav Soloveitchik said you can't sell chametz gamur. He said no. He said
You gotta get rid of it.
said you got to get rid of it, right? You can't sell chametz gamur. It doesn't make any sense to sell chametz gamur. You have bread, you have cookies, you have pasta. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Give it away to poor people. Eat it. Sell it. I mean, sell it. Right. In other words, get rid of it. Don't hold on to it. Get rid of it.
Okay, all right.
You have things which are ta'aruvos chametz. They're either mixtures of chametz, like meatballs with
A little grain.
oatmeal in them, or there are other mixtures or the derivatives like whiskey is a chametz based derivative.
Taroves, there are different statuses and mixtures when it comes to chametz.
Rabbi, a few weeks ago, one of the classes, you said that selling chametz was a loophole.
Correct.
So if it's a
It's,
loophole, who cares?
What do you mean if it's a loophole?
The
Who
loophole,
cares?
No, he's saying it came because
If it's a loophole, it's been invented or arranged to sell chametz. Isn't that a loophole? Or isn't that like?
Yes. So I mean, but so what? So there is a loophole. What do you mean? Who cares? In other words, if there's a
Doesn't
loop.
really matter which one it is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, in other words, that's the whole question about the loophole. Was the loophole constructed to be a loophole
Forever.
this big, or was the loophole constructed to be a loophole this big? It happens, for instance, let's say it's a silly example, but probably easier to understand. Let's say that there's a tax loophole, and the tax loophole allows you to shelter X amount of dollars here. Some creative accountant comes up with a way to expand the tax loophole to say it doesn't only mean this, but it means I can shelter this here and I can shelter this there and I can do this and this and this. What's going to happen? Maybe one day the IRS is going to come along and say, you know what? You misunderstood the loophole. We don't have that, right? I mean, maybe one day HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to say to us, okay, remember all that chametz gamur you sold? So you misunderstood the loophole. But there are two, in other words, it's precisely your question is what there is disagreement about. Namely, what's the size of that loophole? What was that loophole intended for? Was it intended for X and then it expanded to include Y and Z? Or was it intended for X and therefore Y and Z don't fit in? That's the question. Right? That's the question.
What
Now,
about-
there are people, I mean, maybe less is being a purist, not surprisingly, but the idea, there are people who say you can't sell anything. In other words, who say you can't sell anything. In other words, the idea of the sale, it's not a valid sale. Why is it not a valid sale? It's not a valid sale
You're gonna buy it back.
because it's not a valid sale because anybody who goes into the sale basically knows that he's going to get back after Pesach whatever he sells. I mean, if you stop 100 people and you ask 100 people, 100 people are going to tell you they expect to get back what they sell. What kind of sale is it if you expect to get back what you sell? So again, there are people who say that's the definition of a legal loophole, meaning it doesn't make sense rationally, right? It's a loophole. It's built into the system. There are others who say that's the reason that the rabbis go out of their way to try to invest as much seriousness into this sale as possible.
It's a contract.
It's a contract, it's witnessed, you know.
It's a legal fiction.
That's what a loophole is. That's basically what a loophole is. So the idea here is that that's why I always try every year to take Dario into someone's house and to find out, you know, to see where the chametz is and to have him take something. Because it belongs to him,
Oh,
right? You know, and I try to do it in a home where they have little kids, so the kids, you know,
yeah.
the kids see so that they understand that, you know what, this stuff belongs to Dario. He might decide that he doesn't want to go through with the purchase after Pesach. In other words, he doesn't want to pay off the financing of it. Okay, he can do that. But the sale's a good sale. The sale's a valid sale.
Rabbi, you said that it was instituted by Chazal?
Yes.
What historical period is that? Forgive me,
In the times of the Mishnah.
I'm
Besides the-
Somewhere between 200 and 500 of the Common Era, let's say.
So, okay.
So if you're asking me what you should do, that I can't tell you. Right? If you're asking me what you should do, that's really what a family minhag is.
Well, what do most people do? I mean,
What do most people do? Most people sell chametz gamur. Most people. That's what most people do. I'm not saying it's right.
They keep it, but they
Yes,
sell it.
yes,
Correct.
everything.
So just to play devil's advocate, if you're buying it from them and selling it to a guy, you're an agent.
I'm not buying it from anyone. I don't buy any chametz. All I do is serve as an agent to sell this chametz to a
But
guy.
you're making it easier for them to do it by being the agent,
Making it easier for them to...
Facilitator.
facilitator. If you're doing
So I'm facilitating mechiras chametz.
yeah,
Every Rav facilitates mechiras
but
chametz.
if you honestly feel that you're not supposed to sell a chametz gamur,
I didn't say that.
He said it's.
I didn't say that.
Depending on your family.
I said that there are different minhagim that are observed, you know, by different people. Rav Soloveitchik had the particular minhag not to sell chametz gamur. Rav Soloveitchik also had many other minhagim that we don't follow.